I got a bottle filler over the winter. And some of you may recognize it. I am not going to do a video about the filler because there's lots of videos about the filler on YouTube. You don't need that. But I want to talk to you a little bit about one feature of the filler that I had to hack a little bit to make it integrate with the way I do things. It works actually on a principle of suction, which is actually kind of cool if you've sparged the bottle already, or even if you haven't. It works by pulling the air out of the bottle and drawing your cider, your product, into the bottle, or wine, whatever. So there's this really big hose they give you so that you can put a tube on the end of it so you can stick it into your container of product. Okay, fine. But the way this goes, they give you this 1 inch inside diameter, and you've got this big barbed fitting here. Well, if you know barbed fittings, when you put them on, they're kind of hard to just pull off again. They're awkward. And now this has, if you will, permanently mated itself to the bottler, which has handles on it. I guess they consider it portable. It's not easy to move around when you've got this thing stuck on the end of it. So I don't want that, all right? I use TriClover for sanitary fittings. So what I've done, and I figured out, I put a TriClover onto the end, and you might be able to see this little black mark right there, and that will let me push onto this, and then I can band it in place. It's a little ragged, but you can see that I have trimmed off a portion of that tubing, and I'm going to be using Oetiker clamps. I do not use, unless it's an emergency and I really mean it, I can't get to the store, I don't have the parts on hand, I only use Oetiker clamps. And the reason I like these are stainless steel, not the screw type, but these use a pinch tool, which you can get at Lowe's or Home Depot. But they stay smooth on the inside, so they don't cut your tubing. Okay, that's, to me, is a very big deal. And because they don't have those little worm slots for the worm gear, they're not cutting into your tubing either. All in all, it's just a nicer product, and you don't have those little slots that eventually fail. I don't have a lot of room here, so I'm only going to put 2 on, where with the original piece I put 3 on. To take these off, you can just cut and lift that tab and then pop them off. But for the most part, they don't pop off easily either, because that's part of their strength. So I'm slipping the clamps on first, and I'm shoving it onto here. I'm going to put one close to the front, and then one just a wee bit behind it. This tool's made, I think this is Nipex. Yeah, this is Nipex. But you can see it's just a little pinchy tool. I've got that little adapter here I didn't want to cut this off and pay someone to weld it on here. Didn't want to mess with that. Now I have a TriClover. I use 1.5 inch TriClover. That's a large bore one, by the way. And I've got this nice 90-degree elbow with a 1 inch inside diameter. But now I can put a tube on there. I can use a straight tube if I want to. But now I've got something that doesn't have to bend and flop out so far, and I can clamp that in place. So to me, this is a much better solution than having that tube flopping around. And now this is a little bit easier to move around. The tube gets hanging on the wall. My new bottler, my hack to make it a TriClover fitting rather than a barbed fitting, and I can take these off necessarily if I sell it, do anything else, and I've restored it to the original factory situation. So I hope you found this useful. If you're a TriClover shop, and I kind of recommend it, this is how you make it a TriClover product. That's all for now. Take care.